Breaking news here on Chicago Bears Now. The Bears have signed another free agent. It is safety Jonathan Owens. He gets a 2-year, $4.5 million deal. If that name sounds familiar, it's probably because one of two reasons. One, he was with the Packers last season and actually kind of laid a cheap shot on Justin Fields in Week 18. And two, it is Simone Biles' husband. So welcome, Mr. Biles. Jonathan Owens and Simone are now going to be Chicago residents. I actually really like this move, and I'll explain why here in just a second. But I want to hear your one-word reaction to this signing, to the move of Jonathan Owens to the Chicago Bears. He was with Houston for 4 years and then with Green Bay last year. Give me your one-word reaction to the signing of Jonathan Owens. My one-word reaction is upgrade, and it's upgrade over Elijah Hicks. Elijah Hicks, when he had to play last year, was a problem. He just was not very good whatsoever. Jonathan Owens started all 17 games for the Texans 2 years ago at safety, started 11 of 17 last year for the Packers. He's a really good number 3 safety, and if he has to start in a pinch, he can do so. Had 84 tackles, 3 breakups, 2 tackles for loss this past year. The year before, when he played all 17 games for Houston, 125 tackles and 4 pass breakups. So again, he's not a high-level starter, but is a number 3 safety, a guy that has to play in a pinch potentially. I do not mind this at all. He's young. He fits that mold of not going with the Super Bowl player. 2 years, $4.5 million for a number 3 safety special teamer that can play in a pinch is certainly fine. And look, I know Elijah Hicks has gotten some decent playing time the last year, especially. Again, though, it just wasn't that good. Like, how many times during watch parties, for those of you who would join our game day live shows, would me or Rolly be like, well, there's Elijah Hicks again? Too many times. So I like upgrading there. He can play both safety spots, and you can still keep Elijah Hicks, who's a good special teamer, as your number 4 safety. So you're good at the safety position. Jonathan Owens, welcome to Chicago. All right, Bears fans, we've been live the last couple of days here on the channel, and we're going to be live tomorrow as well, covering every single move the Bears are making, but also everything happening in NFL free agency in the NFC North. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Hey, we're almost under 10,000 subs away from 100,000 here on the channel. I can't wait to get there. I appreciate all your love and support. Help us get there by subscribing to the channel today. All right, I want to kind of recycle through some of the other moves here in NFL free agency as well. Plus, we will get to another rumor here in just a second when it comes to the Chicago Bears. Obviously, earlier today, the Bears were able to sign Gerald Everett, a good number 2 tight end. I told you guys earlier, if you average his last 5 years, he's basically at 47 catches, 450 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's very consistent. He's very good after the catch. Like, he's a guy who can give you some yak, which I really like as well. 2 years, $12 million, 6.1 guaranteed. There's incentives to get it up to $14 million in total. Obviously, that would be if he plays well. And listen, the Robert Tonyan thing just didn't work. They were trying to recapture some magic from a few years ago when he had that 12-touchdown season in Green Bay. That did not happen. Gerald Everett has been with Shane Waldron for multiple stops. He was there in Seattle for a year. He was with the Rams for a few years earlier. He's been with the Chargers the past couple of years and has continued his production there. You look at the past 4 years, very steady, very consistent. Going to give you 40 to 55 catches probably, 400, 500 yards, 3 or 4 touchdowns. That's kind of what he is. And so he's going to play a nice role in that regard. So 2 signings today for the Chicago Bears, Gerald Everett and now Jonathan Owens, who again should fill in that 3rd safety role. Also, a potential signing later this week, Cameron Wolfe, who I believe is with NFL Network now, tweeted this out earlier. Free agent edge rusher DJ Wonnum is scheduled to visit the Panthers tomorrow, that being Wednesday, and the Bears on Thursday ahead of making a free agency decision. Wonnum is coming off an 8-sack year with Minnesota Vikings last season. DJ Wonnum had 8 sacks this past year. 4 sacks in 22, 8 sacks in 21. Now, he did tear his ACL late in the season, so he might miss a lot of the offseason program. But if you bring him in here, I think he's a better pure pass rusher than DeMarcus Walker, so maybe he's your number 2 edge, at least for now. I'd still like to add another guy at that position, even if it's in the draft or somewhere elsewhere in free agency. He fits the mold of what the Bears like, 6'5", 260, long arms at the combine, tested well. His RAS score was over 8. So, and obviously the Bears know him well. He's had some big games against Chicago in the last couple of years. So he would be an interesting fit, not one of those top-of-the-market edges, but maybe a 1 or 2 year deal, under $10 million per year. I could see that being the case for DJ Wonnum. So this is where the Bears sit so far. I'll verbally mention Jalen Johnson as well, as they brought him back on a 4-year, $76 million contract. Something that continues to be consistent here. They're being very articulate, calculated. They're not throwing out wild contracts up to this point in time. Kevin Byard, 2 years, $15 million, AAV of 7.5. DeAndre Swift gets $8 million per year, 3 years, $24, $15 guaranteed. Gerald Everett, 2 years, $12 million, $6 million per year, $6 million guaranteed. Jonathan Owens, special teamer, number 3 safety, 2 years, $4.5 million. So, none of these deals are crippling the Bears' financial future. They're guys who can contribute now while also keeping the Bears flexible on the salary cap, and they still have money that they can spend however they see fit. Now, who should the Bears sign next? Maybe it's DJ Wonnum, although he's not going to visit until Thursday, and if he has a great visit with Carolina tomorrow, he could sign there, so we'll see what happens in that regard. Let us know who you would like to see the Bears sign next. Maybe you want Danielle Hunter. He's still out there. I'm very much open to it. It's going to cost a lot. We shouldn't mention that. It is going to cost a lot, but Danielle Hunter, obviously, with Montez Sweat, is fun to think about. Chase Young, like DJ Wonnum, is taking free agency visits. The Bears haven't, as of now, aren't that on that list. I think it's the Saints, the Titans, and I can't remember the third team, but there's a third team in there as well. The Panthers. Oh yeah, he's visiting the Panthers tomorrow as well. So Carolina might just decide whichever visit they like better, they make a contract offer, and we'll see if Wonnum or Young signs there. Receiver, I still think you definitely got to add at least one receiver here. You got Curtis Samuel, who's sitting out there. He'd be a good number 3 receiver for this offense. Tyler Boyd is still out there as well. I'll verbally mention Eric Armstead as a defensive line option. I would certainly be open to that. But I think now it's receiver and D-line. That's kind of where I'm looking to add to this roster. You're set at running back. Tight end, if Mercedes Lewis, if he wants to come back as your number 3, you're set there if you pull that off. You could obviously go center if you want to get a Connor Williams or someone like that. Maybe Ryan Bates is the starter. I wouldn't love that, but that could be what they're doing. You're set at corner. You're set at linebacker. They might bring Dylan Cole back as a special teamer, but D-line, receiver, center. That's those are the positions I'm looking at in free agency at this point in time. All right, guys. There you have it. The latest news around the Bears is Jonathan Owens is the newest signing in Chicago. I am Harrison Graham. Subscribe for more coverage, and we'll see you guys soon here on Bears Now.